My name is Yoav Waxman, and I'm a professor of economics at Coastal Carolina University. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Zoom Whiteboard, which is one of the greatest features about Zoom if you're using Zoom to teach a class. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom of the screen over here, and I'm going to click on the Share Screen function, which is that green arrow pointing up. And when I click on that function, I'm going to have a variety of options. I can choose to share my entire screen, which will allow me to look at all the application that I have on my computer. I can choose a specific application, or I can choose to go to my whiteboard right over here. And I'm going to click on Share My Whiteboard. Before the meeting started, I prepared several whiteboards for you so you can see all the things that you can do in the Zoom Whiteboard function. So here's one example. You can create a table, and this table compares college A and college B and the advantages of each college. So notice that I can use different font colors and different font size, and I can also add a variety of lines to create neat features like tables. Going to the next table, here is what is a Venn diagram, right? So I can use these semi-transparent circles. I also have fully transparent circles with just a frame and solid circles, and I can combine them and create a variety of diagram and add text to them. And this is an example of, let's say, a job looking for a perfect candidate. So look for good students who also has good work experience and a strong work ethics. One of the things I can do in the table is I can click on a spotlight and I can point to certain things with this laser beam, which really allows me to focus the student's attention on specific elements in the table. In the next table, I have an example of a debate, and one of the neat things about Zoom's whiteboard is that students themselves can write on the table, so you can pose a question for them. For example, if they support abolishing or keeping the death penalty, and students can log on and actually annotate the tables by adding their own arguments. And finally, I want to show you what a graph looks like. I'm an economist, so I use a supply and demand curve, and you can see in Zoom Whiteboard, you can create different lines, you can control the thickness, you control the color, you can add arrows, and you can add text to any point in the table or the board, so you can create the same type of graph that you would in class. So let's focus on some of the features that the Zoom Whiteboard has. On the bottom right corner, right down here, there is a little plus sign. And if you click on that plus sign, that's going to open a new board for you. If I click on the back arrow, you can see that all the boards that I created previously are still here. But I want to work on a new board. On the top of the screen, there's a floating menu. This menu allows you to unmute and mute yourself. You can turn your video camera on and off. You can also use Alternate V as a shortcut to turn your camera on and off, or Command V in Apple computers. You can control various security settings, for instance, allowing students to annotate or not allowing them to annotate right over here, and allowing students to rename themselves or not allow them to rename themselves right over here by checking and unchecking these options. You can see the participants are in the class. Right now, I'm the only one in this Zoom meeting, but if you had students, they would appear over here, and you can do like a quick survey, for example, using the nonverbal reaction. I have a separate tutorial about using Zoom that looks at all these communications tools. You can also, if you enable that option, launch polls, and at any point you can switch to a different screen. For example, if you want to look at the website, or pause sharing, or go back to the whiteboard. There are other options over here, and probably the most important one is the chat, because when you open this Zoom whiteboard, the chat will disappear, but you can always open it by clicking on more options, or as a shortcut, you can press alternate page, and I can send all my students a message like, "Hi everyone," or an Apple Command H. Below the main floating menu, I have an annotation menu right over here, and it has several options. The select button allows me to move elements in a table. The text allows me to add text. I can highlight the text and then I can pick a different color. I can also make the text bold or unbold it. I can change the size of the text. And I can italicize or not italicize the text. So I have a lot of control over the text appearance. Under draw, I have a variety of figure. I have free-forming lines. I have straight lines, which are very useful, for example, for graphs. And again, I control the color as well as the thickness of these lines. And once I create them, I can press the select button and move them anywhere I want. If I create a line and I don't like it, I can just press Control Z, and that's going to take me one step back. And if I want to bring that back, I can press Control Y. There are other figures like frames, circles, the variety of arrows that you can use. So just like a regular whiteboard in class, you can use a variety of tools and you can create tables, graphs, or text on your whiteboard. Zoom also includes a variety of stamps, which you can use for fun or to highlight certain things on your board. And then you have the spotlight feature, which allows you to use either what's called a laser pointer or an arrow to focus the student's attention on a specific element of the whiteboard. If you did something and you want to erase it, you can always use a digital eraser. Or you can just undo what you just did by clicking the undo button or by clicking Control Z. So just like Microsoft application, Control Z is to go back, Control Y is to go forward. When you're ready, you can clear the drawing if you want an empty table. So you can just clear my drawing, or if the students also add drawing, you can click all drawing. Or you can click just the viewer drawing, which means your drawing will remain, but the student drawing will disappear. So let's clear this board. I'm going to go back to the previous board to show you one more feature that is very useful in class. If you want to, you can prepare your Zoom whiteboard ahead of class. So for here example, I have a math problem, 5x plus 2 equals 22, and I want the student to solve that problem, but I don't want to spend the time writing the answer down. So what I can do is I can write the answer down and cover it with a solid square. And when I'm ready to reveal the answer, I can just use my digital eraser to erase the square, and then the answer itself is revealed. When you're done with the class, you can go up to the top of the screen and also save your table. And if you click on Show the folder, there's a location for all your Zoom folders, and you can actually click on that and copy it and paste it to anywhere you want on your computer. So whatever table you created or whatever board you created will be available for you as an image for later classes. You can go back, open that image, and annotate on top of that, but because it's a picture, you can never delete anything from that image using the Zoom whiteboard. So in this tutorial, we learned some of the main feature of the Zoom whiteboard, which is one of the best things about Zoom. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please leave them below. And if you need more information about designing a digital course, you can do so by looking at my course I created, and there's a link to that in the comment section below.